my chunky little starbursts. It is time for some homeschooling with the niNcomPoOPs. Today's niNcomPoOP is me, Dr. Carrie Quinlan, Professor of Knowledge, and I work with Professor Andy Stanton, who is Doctor of Wisdom. And together we teach young people about stuff and things and make you better people, make you more intelligent, make you probably nicer, make your little faces brighter and shinier. That's our mission in life, and that's what we do. And we do it each weekday, each school weekday, through the power of words. And we use finding the power of words, the might of St Dictionary's book of words. And today's word is wind. Wind. Now, wind is it's a current of air. So wind, it might be blowing through the trees. Some wind, like this. These are the trees. It might be blowing through a canyon. It might be blowing through a windswept canyon. It might be blowing through your bum cheeks. Sometimes wind blows through your bum cheeks. Now the wind that blows through trees and canyons, generally not smelly. Wind that blows through your bum cheeks, sometimes quite smelly. So why is that? Why is that? And that's because the first person who ever decided to blow some wind through their bum cheeks lived in a canyon full of trees. And they really loved their canyon full of trees. This was years ago. This was like about a billion years ago. They lived in their canyon, so they didn't have a name. It was pre-names. Okay, it wasn't pre-wind. Wind's been around a very long time, but it was pre-names. So this unnamed person who lived in a canyon with trees loved living in a canyon with trees, and their favourite thing about living in a canyon with trees was the wind just rushing through the trees, and the sound of the wind rushing through the trees. The sound of the wind rushing through the canyon. They loved it. They found it the most soothing thing they'd ever heard. It made them feel safe and at home. But some property developers bought the canyon full of trees, and so they had to move, which is it's a terrible thing. It's a heartbreaking thing. They were forced to move away from their home. And wherever they went, they found that it was never quite the same. They couldn't hear that beautiful wind through the trees or through the canyon. They couldn't hear it, and they tried to work out what they could do about that, because it was the most soothing thing they had ever found, and they just didn't feel quite right. So they worked out that the best thing they could do was to create their own wind. That they just needed a space for it to go through to make that nice noise, either through the trees or through the canyon. And so they decided to make some wind themselves, and they tried making it through their ears. Didn't really work. And they couldn't get any wind out of there. And they tried through their noses, and just it's not really good enough. And so they decided to try and make some wind through their bum cheeks. And first time out, it was great. It sounded like this, which was perfect, and it made them feel at home and delightful. And so they stuck with that. But they started trying too hard, and it started sounding like this, or this, and that it just wasn't the same. But they couldn't. But they'd got into the habit now, and they couldn't stop. And they were so annoyed about it that through the power of their own annoyance, it started smelling. So that's why wind through your bum cheeks smells worse than wind through some trees or a canyon. It's the original annoyance of the first person who decided to give that a go when they first heard it go. So that's wind. Wind. So, and come back next time when you'll learn something equally elevating and enlightening that will make you a much better person for knowing. Come back. Professor Andy Stanton will teach you another word. It won't be wind this time. It'll be something else. Who knows? I mean, it's a big old thing. It's a dictionary's book of words. It's absolutely stuffed with the words. And so come back, and we'll see you next time. Whatever that means.